As if Daedra weren't enough. What was he thinking? You there! I'm a captain in the Westweald Legion, and I require your assistance. I was leading a patrol hunting Daedra when one of my own legionaries attacked me. An orc named Ulrath. Such traitorous behavior endangered us all. Since I'm injured, could you locate whatever remains of my squadron? For mercenary pay, of course. When the Daedra ambushed us and Ulrath turned on me, I ordered the patrol to take shelter in Fort Hastral, to the northwest. Any survivors should be there. I need to know what happened to Ulrath, and to my squad. Report back to me with any news. If you find my squadron, tell them that Captain Dartorius sent you. Order them to stay put at Fort Hastral, and wait for me to join them. I'll stay here, until you tell me it's safe. If you run into Ulrath, be careful. He's a cold-blooded killer. You must be aware of the strange Daedra popping up all over Westweald. While the Legion is stretched thin, we're not helpless. My soldiers were patrolling this region when the very Daedra we were tracking turned the table on us. If I only knew. I was at the head of the patrol about to lead the Daedra away to give my legionaries a chance when Ulrath cut me down. That orc was always complaining, but to disobey a direct order? Probably upset I never gave him that promotion. He certainly thought so. Expected to be made a sergeant just because I had him performing those duties for the squad. For all I know, Ulrath was in league with these Daedra. It wouldn't surprise me. He's a tough, nasty orc who hates taking orders.
Got to be something good in there.
What a waste. Careful. I've lost a lot of comrades today, so I'm not in a trusting mood. Who are you and what do you want? What happened to the squad? She's what happened to the squad! She froze when we spotted the Daedra. Refused to give a coherent order. I stepped in and she went crazy. Commanded the squad to engage a massively superior force. Then she turned to flee. Not hardly. She led her soldiers into a slaughter and then ordered them to cover her retreat. I cut her down, then rallied the squad and headed for this keep. We fought a running battle. I'm all that's left. Now it's my word against an officer's. The only thing I can do. Run. I'm no coward, and I don't want to be labeled a deserter, but what choice do I have? A captain's word carries more weight than lowly orc legionaries. A lot more. I wrote a report. Will you give it to the captain? Not that I owe you an explanation, but everything I said is true. I wrote it all down. My report to the Legion. I doubt the captain will pass it along, but at least my conscience is clear. As for me, tell her I died, or I'm a deserter. I don't care. I don't. Not anymore. But I used to idolize her. Did everything I could to help her lead our squadron. Once the fighting stopped and I had a moment, I composed my report to explain what happened here. I left it over there, but you can take it. I finally saw our captain's true face. She used to be a great leader. I would have followed her to oblivion and back. But lately, she's been struggling. I helped as I could, doing what a sergeant would do, even without the rank. Then, today happened. It's all in my report. Ever since our first encounter with the Daedra a few weeks ago, she's been off, confusing orders, contradictory commands. When we walked into the ambush, she was like a rabbit in a snare. I tried to take command. She went wild, ordered the patrol to attack what was clearly a superior Daedric force. Then she fled, used her soldiers to cover her own escape. I just reacted, struck her a glancing blow. Now, tell her I deserted, or died. Doesn't matter to me.
It's good to see someone who still knows how to follow orders. Did you make it to the fort? Did you find my squadron? What remained? Speak plainly, mercenary. What's the condition of my squadron? And what about the treacherous orc, Ulrath? Ulrath is a deserter? The coward! But that makes things simpler. Not that they'd ever take the word of a legionary over a captain. I'll make sure his report receives all the attention it deserves. Here, the mercenary pay I promised. You earned it. No matter how many times you lose a squadron, it never gets any easier. No need to stick around, mercenary. I'll be ready to head out myself in another few moments. I plan to personally lead the patrol that goes hunting for that traitor, Ulrath. Truth is written by the victors, mercenary. Haven't you learned that by now? The only truth is what I disclose to my superiors. Everything else is simply rumor and conjecture. That deserter isn't a legionary. Not anymore. And yes, I plan to hunt him down and make an example out of him. No one questions the orders of Captain Dartorius and gets away with it. Ulrath will wish he died with the rest of the squad.
Oh! Traveler! Can you stop? I'm very lost. And a bit woozy. Oh, hello there. Where are you and who are we? Maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm lost and drunk. Very drunk. I just started a new job. At a vineyard. Somewhere in Westfield. I don't know my way around here that well. The one with the grapes. They give you a few bottles when you sign on. I thought Westfield wine would be piddly, like elf wine. Let me tell you, it's not. So, which way should I go to get somewhere? Anywhere. Preferably the vineyard. Great, yes. Tell me. I've got work in the morning. Don't want to be late. Skingrad? Who is Grad and why are we skinning him? Oh, you mean the city of Skingrad. Right. Off I go. Thank you. I hope I remember all this in the morning because you're my new best friend.
the terror of the Weald. Oh, turn back, traveler. There's trouble in the town of such that you want no part of. Vampire trouble. Bloodsuckers, pale skins, night hunters, whatever you call them, this particular crew has left a trail of corpses in their wake. Get too close, and your lifeless husk will get added to the heap. I should know. I used to run with this lot. Was. Past tense. But I'm not about to bandy my history with Belandris, the so-called terror of the Weald, to a stranger. If you want to tag along while I finish him, feel free. But I'll pay you. I don't like to owe favors. Not if I can avoid it. If you're reckless enough to stand with me against Belandris' gang, who am I to say no? Let's make our way to the tavern at the center of town. An old friend, Tham, owns the place. I want to find out what happened to him. Didn't I say I wasn't going to talk about that? Yes, I ran with Belandris. Yes, I've done things I regret. And he put these marks in my neck when I was young and stupid. All you need to know is Belandris is dangerous, and I plan to stop him. I went out of the way to put my time with Belandris behind me. But when I heard he had returned to such, and was calling himself the Terror of the Weald, had turned the gang into murderers, I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Such benefits from its location near the Gold Road and the nearby mines. In my early days with the gang, we worked out of the town, watched for traders and caravans. That's when I got to know Tham. He was one of the good ones. He did. Made more coins serving drinks than I ever did, robbing travelers with the gang. I suppose the current occupants of such prefer their drinks a bit more crimson than anything Tham poured. He wrote to me, told me Belandris had returned. I know exactly why he became the Terror and returned to such. It's because of me. He hated it when I left. When I turned away from the blood and the gold. I plan to make him pay for what he did here. To send him to oblivion minus his head. Didn't I say I wasn't going to talk about that? Yes, I ran with Belandris. Yes, I've done things I regret. And he put these marks in my neck when I was young and stupid. All you need to know is Belandris is dangerous, and I plan to stop him. I went out of the way to put my time with Belandris behind me. But when I heard he had returned to such, and was calling himself the Terror of the Weald, had turned the gang into murderers, I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Such benefits from its location near the Gold Road and the nearby mines. In my early days with the gang, we worked out of the town, watched for traders and caravans. That's when I got to know Tham. He was one of the good ones. He did. Made more coins serving drinks than I ever did, robbing travelers with the gang. I suppose the current occupants of such prefer their drinks a bit more crimson than anything Tham poured. He wrote to me, told me Belandris had returned. Such doesn't deserve this horror. Belandris needs to pay for what he's done here.
Here?
We need to tell Belandros.
Run, bastards! Tham's favorite. Torn, but no blood. Could be a good sign. Maybe. That's Tham's sword. I gave it to him so he could protect the tavern. knew Tham would get word to me. Don't like the way he ended it, but I know exactly where to find the best vintage. Alright, it's obvious there was trouble here. Tham's tattered cloak, his bloodied sword, and the note he managed to leave for me. Clever of him to tell me where to find the surviving townsfolk without alerting the vampires. No, but it did mention his best vintage, a dark joke referring to my days as a vampire. And the place where old Decius slept it off? That's the bank vault. Damn Belandros. Why did he have to return to this town of all places? The chance that anyone's hearts besides our own are still beating in this town is next to impossible. I really want to deal with Belandros, the Terror. But I suppose I owe it to Tham to go to where he pointed. Let's check the bank. The Such depository is across from the tavern. Belandros always had ambitions. But to become the Terror of the Weald? I saw all the signs, but didn't want to believe he was capable of such atrocities. Still, I left at the first opportunity. Our relationship started out well enough. A band of outlaws, trying to raise thievery to an art form. Whatever he did, Belandros wanted to be the best. Later, when banditry turned to blood, we hit a dry patch. That's when Belandros began to change. After we became vampires, we remained outlaws. We took blood from the recently dead and dying. We had honor. Only a few of us accepted the curse at first, but eventually Belandros convinced us there was more blood to be had than gold. He was wrong. I saw the darkness growing in Belandros, but it was Tham who convinced me to find a cure. He said I was better than what the rest of the gang was becoming. Now, my sword reminds me of myself in those darkest days. It's thirsty and craves blood. The clerk kept a spare key in a box by her desk. We'll need that to open the vault. Told you there was a spare key. Now let's go down and open that vault.
Father, is that you?
Hush, Abel. You'll give us away.
I'll be damned. There are survivors.
Stay back! Wait,
Use the key and open the vault.
Morena! You're with those bloodsuckers?
I'm not with them. Not anymore. My friend will explain while I keep watch.
Morena looks different. But if you're not with the vampires, does it mean it's safe out there? And did you see my husband, Gravier? He hasn't returned from his last excursion. We hid in here. Some miners, Tham, the banker and his husband, their clerk. My Gravier's been leading them to safety, taking them out in small groups. He's the best scout in the territory. But now it's just me and my son. Gravier hasn't returned. Yes, he suggested we hide in here in the first place. He offered to stay with Abel and me while Gravier got the last group out of town, but my husband insisted Tham go with them. Now they're out there somewhere. with the vampires. I'm just the town alchemist. I'm no expert on vampires. But Belandros and his crew, they came here for a purpose. I heard one vampire say something about raising an army. You seem like you can handle yourself. Can you look for my husband, Gravir? My alchemist shop is close by. Feel free to make use of anything in there. I don't know of any potions that harm vampires, but much of my stock is explosive, when mixed correctly. And if you find Gravir, please send him back to us. Not exactly, but I have all sorts of tinctures, reagents, and solvents. Many of them can be combined to create poisons and unstable compounds that could explode given the right circumstances. You'll want to go with something simple. I'd suggest grabbing some alchemical oil and a few combustion canisters. They won't make a perfect weapon, but if you can mix them, set them, ignite them, and run, they do make a rather large boom.
We'll kill Belandros and put an end to this. You have my word. And we'll find your husband. Let's go. Might not be a bloodsucker anymore, but I can still hunt with the best of them. Stay alert. Just one clue from me. There! Tracks! Definitely fresh. And they head southwest. That pack. Check it out while I keep watch. Mining gear. Discarded to lose weight, I'd guess. Looks like they started veering west here. What's that on the ground ahead?
You're looking especially strong lately. I like it.
Clothing. Must have been torn in a struggle. Careful. I think we're close. Someone took out these blood fiends. And look! What's that paper? Damn Gravir and his cowardly eyes. We need to talk. That's Belandros' handwriting, all right. Looks like he made a deal with Gravir to sacrifice the rest of the townsfolk to the terror of the Weald. If Gravir's still alive, I can make him talk. Gravir's been working with these bastards. He must know where Belandros is hiding, and he can tell me what happened to Tham. After that, I'll show him the same mercy he gave the townsfolk. The stables are nearby, right on the edge of town. If Gravir's there, I'll make him talk. Belandros always wanted more gold, then more blood. Now he's calling himself the Terror. Sounds like he wants power now. Come to think of it, the stories of the Great Host always fascinated him. Maybe they put a very bad idea into his head.
Stranger, cut me free! She's one of the... Why are you helping Mirena? She's one of them! And Belandros, the terror of the Weald. He told me he returned to such because of her. This is all her fault! You know about that? I had no choice. It was turn on the townsfolk or lose my family. But you're helping Marina. She's one of them. She'll turn on you the moment you're no longer useful, just like Belandris did to me. Doesn't matter. This is still her fault. The Terror came to Such looking for her. When he couldn't find her, he set his gang loose and started stockpiling weapons around town. If I didn't make a deal, my family would be dead now. Or worse. Why do you think Belandris is calling himself the Terror of the Weald now? He's trying to build a vampire army, and he's using the people of Such to swell his ranks. Look, whatever you may think of me, you can't leave me here to die! You can't! The vampires took Tham and the other townsfolk into the mines. I'm certain that's where Belandris has his headquarters. Or do vampires call it a lair? But you can't go down there! They'll tear you apart! Please, let me go! My family needs me!
Friend, we need to talk about this. I knew Belandris was angry when I left the gang. But to destroy a town and raise an army... He's really trying to live up to his new name. The Terror of the Weald. Dude, we killed Belandris just like I planned. He broke our pact and started consuming innocent people. We robbed gold to pay blood servants to sustain us. We were thieves first, vampires second. Or so I thought. The curse was just a means to an end. Not quite yet. Stopping the Terror won't be as simple as just killing Belandris. We need to destroy his weapon stockpiles and shatter his army. Maybe something in the alchemist shop can help with that. But first, we need to deal with this worm.
Please, you can't just leave me here.
Shut up, Grivir. Run back to your wife before I decide to tell her we were too late. Rosalind mentioned explosives. Look for alchemical oil and combustion canisters. Careful. One spark and you'll be engulfed in alchemical fire. With that oil and the combustion canisters, we're all set. Let's find those weapon stockpiles. Stockpiles. Place the components and I'll do the rest.
I was just getting started.
Place the components and I'll add the spark. That takes care of the weapon stockpiles. Now let's head into the mine. Belongers must be keeping the blood fiends in dens. Just follow the sound of their wails, and we'll use the remaining explosives.
The terror will make you pay for destroying our weapons, Marina!
That's not all I plan to destroy, you bastards! Hear that? Blood fiends beyond that door. Place a combustion canister and step back. Taken care of. There's probably one more. Let's go find it.
Belongers doesn't need you anymore, Marina. You've been replaced.
Tham the barkeep will be a much better vampire than you ever were.
The bastards turned Tham. Hurry! I hear more blood fiends. Place the combustion canister and stand clear. Stand clear! All right, now let's get to the business. That takes care of the blood fiend dens. But were those vampires lying about Tham? Damn it! I never wanted anyone to get hurt when I decided to leave the gang and throw off my curse. Come on, let's find Belandros' lair and finish this. Belandros was formidable when I ran with him. Now that he calls himself the Terror, I'm not sure what to expect. He'll be with his lieutenants, maybe a few blood fiends. And Tham, curse their eyes. Just remember, if I get turned again, kill me.
You're part of my army now, barkeep. Get used to it.
He's got Tham. Let's finish the bastard.
Come back to join the slaughter, Marina.
What have you become? Friend? Attack! They're in for it now. saw Tham run out when the battle started. Let's head outside.
Marina, what's happening to me, Mayor?
It will be all right, Tham. You'll be all right. Check on Tham, friend. I need a moment.
I feel cold. My skin, it's pale. Please, tell me this isn't happening. Tell me I'm not becoming one of them. Yes, you're right. You and Mayor saved my life. Saved what's left of such. Well, if Marina could survive being a vampire, then I can as well. Thank you for helping her. Tell Mayor. Tell her I'm all right.
It's done. The terror of the Weald is no longer a threat. I hope whatever remains of the gang has sense enough to scatter. I tried to do right by such, getting rid of my curse. Now the place is a ghost town, and I have no idea what to do next. Tham. Right. I need to be here for him, the way he was for me. Help him, whether he decides to remain a vampire or seek the cure. It's the least I can do. Remember, I don't like owing favors. So take this. I want you to have it. For all your help. I'm at a loss, friend. I was so focused on stopping Belandris and saving Tham. I never gave a thought as to what comes next. I guess I need to figure it out. I told you I hate owing favors, but I can't help feeling that suddenly I owe a whole lot. I owe Tham, probably more than I can ever repay. And the people of such. It's because of me that the town was overrun by Belandris and his gang of vampires. I need to try to help them all recover, to find a way to carry on with their lives. I think so. At least, for a while. Tham needs to learn how to deal with the curse. Then I need to help him figure out whether to try to live with it or seek a cure. As for the town, that's a harder problem to solve. Once a place gets a bad reputation, it's hard to shake it. And the vampires killed a lot of people, did a lot of damage. Well, I suppose I can help deal with any of the terrorist gang that are still prowling around. That's something, right?